Hello students, myself Shilpa Sharma and I welcome you all in the series of Digital System Design. Today we will discuss about the VSDL topic of design procedure of asynchronous sequential circuits. As well as we will also talk about the hazards. Later on we will discuss races, but in this video we will discuss about the hazards also. So let's do this design process. How we will design any asynchronous sequential circuits. So as you know that we need to generate a transition table, and after that we will define a flow table. So first we need to obtain a primitive flow table from the given design specifications. We will reduce this flow table by merging rows in the primitive flow table, and then we'll assign binary state variables to each row of the reduced flow to obtain the transition table. Now, assign output values to the dashes associated with the unstable states to obtain the output map, and then simplify the Boolean functions of the excitation and output variables. Then we will draw the logic diagram. Now, after drawing the logic diagram, we will we are done with our designing. So let's take it as an example as a gated latch. As an example, I am taking gated latch. So this gated latch accepts the value of D whenever G equals 1 and retain this value after G goes to 0. Means two conditions will be there. First, G equals 1, another G equals 0. Whenever G equals 1, it will accept the value of D, otherwise it will retain the value of D. Okay. Now we will obtain the flow table by listing all possible states. This flow table will be marked as dash. Here, see, dash marks are given when both input change simultaneously. Simultaneously means if input D and G both are changed simultaneously, then the dash marks are given. Otherwise, output of unstable states are considered as don't care. See, here total 6 states are used from A to F, and input D and G are used. Here 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0 are the inputs, and outputs are defined accordingly. In the comments, as you can see that if D equals Q, this will be because of G equals 1. It's another input. If gated value is 1, then D will be output. In this, you can see after states A or D, we are defining state C. So this is the condition we can define. We will discuss later on. First, we will start with primitive flow table. First, we will in one square in each row belonging to the stable state in that row. Next, we will note that both inputs are not allowed to change at the same time. So we will enter dash marks in each row that differ in two or more variables from the input variable associated with the stable state. Next, it is necessary to find values for two or more squares in each row. The comments listed in the previous table may help in driving the necessary information. You can see I have talked about the comments. So all outputs associated with unstable states are marked with a dash. Now see, this is our primitive flow table. Here if A state is there and if DG inputs are 0, 0, then it is what? It will jump to C state with dash C. I am considering the condition of state A. If it is at state A and 0, 0 comes, then it will jump to which state? Either C or F. But as C is coming before, means first, so it will jump to C. And output will be dash, as the output at state A is 0 and output at state C will be 0. So it will jump to state C. So we are marking a dash here. See? In a similar way, for 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0, these all are defined, and circle are done for stable state. Wherever A is coming in front of A, that is a stable state. B is coming, there is a stable state. So you can see in each column there is one stable state and rest are unstable states. So we will talk about them later, Now we will reduce the primitive flow table. So 2 or more rows can be merged into one row if there are non-conflicting state and outputs in every column. Now, after merging into one row, don't care entries will be overwritten. In this don't care condition, stable states and output values are included. So a common symbol is given to the merged value. See, after reduction, how will it looks like? See, here are the states. We are separating whole primitive flow table into two parts. A, C, D are separated into one part and B, E, F are separated into another. Here A, C, D, in these are the stable conditions for merge. How we are defining these stable conditions for merge? Because in these outputs are either 0 or outputs are either 1. So I am separating them according to their outputs. So two maps are generated and we will merge these maps. So after reducing, how many states can be made? One state will be ACD and another state will be BEF. See, in the first column, ACD state, C, A and D states are entered with a circle and B, E, F are merged in another. So we can give another name to these states. A, C, D can be given A state and B, E, F can be B, because we are replacing E and F with state B and C and D state with A. So we are writing A. So wherever C is written, we will write A. D is written, we will write again A, and where is E and F are written, we will replace that with B. See, I am replacing it here. So A, comma 0, which is a stable state, A, comma 0, which is again a stable state, then unstable, then stable state. So this is the way through which we can reduce the primitive flow table. Okay. Now we will make a transition table and logic diagram. So in order to obtain the circuit described by the reduced flow table, it is necessary to assign a distinct binary value to each state. This converts the flow table to a transition table. So a binary state assignment must be made to ensure that the circuit will be free of critical race. So we can see here I am making a transition table here. I am replacing A and B with 0 and 1, means I am giving a number to state 0 and 1. I am replacing each. So accordingly I am generating next state K map and next state output. So according to this K map, a circuit can be drawn. This circuit will reflect our requirement. we will talk about hazards. That was all about the design procedure of asynchronous sequential circuit. Now we will talk about the hazards. What are hazards? Hazards are unwanted switching transients that may appear at the output of a circuit because different parts exhibit different propagation delay. Hazards can occur in both, means in combinational and asynchronous circuits. In combinational circuits, they may cause a temporary false output value, and in asynchronous circuit, they may result in a transition to a wrong stable state. So this is the cause of hazard, and now we will talk about how many types of hazards are there. Two types of hazards are there, one is static, one is dynamic. Static means it will remain on a state. Dynamic means it is changing again and again from 0 to 1, 1 to 0, 0 to 1, 1 to 0. So these are the two types of hazards. We will discuss first about the static hazard. Now, what are static hazards? Static hazard are momentarily output change when no output change should occur. If implemented in sum of products, no static 1 hazard becomes no static 0 hazard or dynamic hazard. Here two examples are here for static 1 hazard. See, input x1, x2 and x3 are given, and x1 and x3 are 1. Suppose we are changing x2 from 1 to 0. Then due to this NOT gate, a momentarily change from 0 to 1 will be generated, and due to this, the change in AND gate of 2, output of 2 will be 0 to 1, but it will take some time. So at input of 1, at 1 gate, we are having 0, which is a new input, but at the input of 2 gate, we are yet not having 1 in place of 0, just because a delay generated by NOT gate. So it will give a momentarily output change, means where output should have to be at the value of 1, it will be having a value of 0 for a moment. So it is known as what? Static hazard. Another is the NAND circuit. This is also showing the static hazard example. Now, what are dynamic hazards? As I have told you, static hazards are what? It will go momentarily from 1 to 0 or 0 to 1. But in dynamic hazard, as in this C, it will go from 1 to 0, then 0 to 1, then 1 to 0, and again it will change. So dynamic hazard causes the output to change 2 or 3 times when it should change from 1 to 0 or from 0 to 1. So the occurrence of hazard can be detected by inspecting the map of a particular circuit. Now, what are hazard-free circuits? If we wanted to free the hazard, then how can we develop a hazard-free circuit? Just by adding a redundant term, means the term we are leaving during the K-map generation, we need to add them because they are giving an alternate path through which output will be generated without any delay. So the change in x2 that was done in the last example from 1 to 0 moves the circuit from minterm 111 to minterm 101. And the hazards exist between a change of input result in a different product term cover the 2 minterms. So here you can see in diagram A, 2 terms are there, where in the hazard free term circuit 3 terms are there, means 1 redundant term is added here. So in this way we can generate a hazard free circuit. See, this redundant AND gate is added for the removal of hazard. So it will give a costlier side, it will give more variables, but it will also give a hazard-free circuits. So this is all about the hazard. Later on we will discuss about the races and many more. Till then, thank you.